chapter 9, verse 1. Answer me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Kind of how do you measure the time? You measure the time to the scriptures, to the prophecies. You understand? We've seen geopolitical moves. We've seen moves on the economic, the financial side, the global economy. You understand? We've seen everything going down there. You understand? We've seen nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, class divisions, political divisions, race divisions. You understand? And all of these are what? Signs that Yahweh Shai told us and the prophets of old told us to look for in the end times.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So we see these signs coming to pass, man. Hey, Israel, the least of the flock, ready to do a military incursion upon Iran, the Persians, you understand? And these are what? This is what? A sign of a lead up, of a critical point of World War III, a critical point in geopolitics, man. I was watching this devil, man, on the Israeli news. He was saying, hey, the interviewer was like, so you're really gonna look to strike Iran? He was like, yeah, what you want us to pray about it? Show me that these Amalekites, man, these Israelis, they ain't of the Most High, man. You understand? They believe in what? Weaponry. They're weaponry. They don't trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They don't trust in God, man. They trust in what? In their carnal weaponry, man, to defeat their enemies, man. You understand?
It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the world, it's like it. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people of the world,
so there's earthquakes in diverse places, and all you have to do is get an earthquake map, and you will see all the different earthquakes in diverse places and on the planet, you understand? And you have what uproars of the people, you understand? Because of the economic crisis, you understand? Because of class crisis, because of political crisis, you understand? So you have uproars of the people.
It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things in the days that were before thee.
So these are written in the scriptures, man. You understand? Yahweh Shai spoke of them. The prophets of old spoke of them, of these end time prophecies. You understand?
It says, even from the beginning.
Even from the beginning, man. Isaiah 46 and 10. With Gabriel Swift. Because, hey, everything was written, man. Written, actually, so from since the genesis of creation, man. Everything is already written to come to pass. It's just to be manifest in the earthly realm, man. You understand? In the spiritual realm, hey, Esau, Edom going to be taken out of power, man. But guess what? It just have to be manifest on the earthly, you understand?
Yeah, Enoch prophesied of Yahweh Shai. It says, Isaiah 46 and 10. Declaring the end from the beginning.
So declaring the end from the beginning, man. So hey, so this is like you could compare it to a screen, a play, a movie, man. When a director writes a movie, he already has the beginning, the middle, and the end, man. Yep. Everything is written. Yep. It's just for the actors to go out there and act it out, man, for the world to see, man. So basically, we acted out everything, man, and we approaching the end.
Playing out the script.
Playing out the script, exactly.
The scriptures. It says,
the scriptures. It's God.
It says, and from ancient times, things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
So hey, from the ancient times, man, because if you check out the scriptures, right, all the prophets of old was always looking.
You guys know what this place is, right?
Keep speaking,
was
man.
always looking for what? Was always looking for the eternal. Was always looking, hey, that's demons, you know what I'm saying? I was always looking for what? The eternal kingdom of Israel, man. You had Ezra's, you know what I mean? The disciples. Really, all the prophets was always looking for the Most High to set up the eternal kingdom of Israel. So, hey, that was set for what? These times, man. For these last times, there wasn't time yet. You understand? That was what I meant.
This is going into his weapons. It have deceived them. In Jeremiah 49 and 16. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart which is terribleness, is his the weapons he had and his accomplishments, because not realizing that the wisdom that he received on the weapon was given to him by the Most High. So now Esau is boasting, because he had weapons that could, that's unthinkable, but to the Most High, it's a small thing. It won't be able to contend with the chariots of the Most High. So it says that terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, or thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks.
So I'm gonna just say.
Tell me, you don't find it.
Khan, the Israeli state showing you that they deceive, man, and they are a bunch of demons and devils. They have this thing called the Samson strategy, man.
Oh yeah, the world's end.
Which is basically, if they are attacked by the enemy nations, man, come on, that nuclear attack or whatever from the enemy nations, they have this thing where they're gonna just start shooting nuclear missiles at every nation.
I got it.
They're gonna start shooting nuclear missiles at every nation, man. Showing you that they don't trust in the Most High, man. They trust in what? Their terribleness, man.
Yeah, I read it from the top. So back to Jeremiah 49:16. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the heights of the hills. Though thou shalt make thy nest as high as the eagle.
And their nest is going into what? The outer space weaponry, man. You understand? Because these Edomites, they have outer space weaponry with their nuclear missiles and stuff like that, man.
Yup.
The Space Force.
Yeah, I just wanted to add too. That's where you get the miracles from. You read Revelation 13:13, I believe. It says them great wonders. That's what we're going into.
It says, I read it. Finish up. Though thou should make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, save the Lord.
So the Most High will bring them down, man. You know what I mean? They'll be at the second return of Yahweh Shai, man. You understand? With the thousands upon thousands of angels and the chariots, what the world ignorantly called UFOs. So the brother has some more information on the Samson option. You understand?
Yeah. It's from Wikipedia.org. The Samson option, Israel's nuclear arsenal and American foreign policy. Says the Samson option, Israel's nuclear arsenal and American foreign policy, is a 1991 book by Seymour Hersh. It details the history of Israel's nuclear weapons program and its effects on Israel-American relations. The Samson option of the book's title refers to the nuclear strategy whereby Israel would launch a massive nuclear retaliatory strike if the state itself was being overrun, just as...
So if they're being overrun, man, if they're being attacked, overcome, they're gonna just say fuck it and kill everybody, man.
That's a kill switch.
Go ahead.
It says, just as the biblical figure Samson is said to have pushed apart the pillars of a Philistine temple, bringing down the roof and killing himself and thousands of Philistines who had gathered to see him humiliated.
They're basically trying to use the story of Samson to justify their trust in their terribleness, in the sword, man. You understand? So they're saying what? If they're being overrun, which is going to happen, man, because that state of Israel is going to be destroyed, man. So what I showed you, man, they're going to be firing nuclear missiles, man, upon Iran and all those Arabian nations, man. You understand?
It's like being that you said that, I go back to Jeremiah 49, and the point is at verse 20, but let's look at 16. Let me read this real quick. Read this in verse 17, back to Jeremiah 49 and 17. Also Edom should be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it should be astonished. It shall hiss at all the plagues thereof, as as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the and the neighbors' cities thereof, saith the Lord. No man shall abide there, neither a son of man dwell in it. It says, break it up. Yeah.
Hey, Council, Esau, Edom gonna be a desolation, man. And what's the chief tribe, the chief clan of Esau, Edom? The Amalekites, man. And they proclaim what? That land of Israel to be their land, man. Of which they falsely proclaim that, man, because that's not their land, but they have usurped that land, you understand? So what? That land is going to be made a desolation, you understand?
Yep. And it says, behold, he shall come up like a lion for the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong. But I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Verse 20 is the point. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom and his purposes.
God, so Edom and his purposes, man. Edom, so-called white man, which is inclusive of the so-called Jews.
Surely, that he have proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
Kind of least of the flock. And who's the least of the flock? Who's the most hated, the most insignificant, man? You know what I mean? People among Esau, Edom, the so-called Jews, man. Because even other Edomites hate with a passion so-called Jews, man. All the nations hate so-called Jews, man. I remember he had this professor, right? He's a professor at the University of Penn, and I watched some of his stuff, and he was down there in the Amazon, man, among the Asherites, man, the indigenous people, and his name is Samuel. So they asked him, they was like, Samuel, are you Jewish? And he was like, no, I'm not Jewish. And he was like, thank God, man. So even them Asherites down there in the Amazon, man, rainforests, they know you so-called Jews ain't right, man. You understand? It's a whole stigma behind you so-called Jews, man. You've been kicked out of what? Hundreds of nations, man. You understand?
That's why they had to change their names when they got over here.
Crypto Jews.
Crypto Jews. Like in Hollywood, they changed their names to certain, so it could be more convenient. But they're all part of the same thing. Which they would say that's a conspiracy theories, but that's facts. That's in their own history. They'll say that. You know, see, when it comes down to it, with the so-called Jews, how they run things, they could say it, but we can't say it. That's why they're taking brothers' videos down and all sorts, because the world knows who they are. You know, they pass laws just for these times like this. So the things that you're saying is absolutely right. They are the most hated people, but that's also talking about them drawing out America into that war, because America is going to get into that war with Iran, and Iran is backed up by Russia. All right.
Can I say something on that Samson strategy? Reading the Samson strategy, that just let you know that he'll destroy everybody, including himself.
Yep.
You know, he just don't give a damn.
Yep.
All right. That's the so-called white man.
And the thing about Samson himself, the reason why he did what he did was because the Lord put the spirit on him to do it, to kill off all the heads of the Philistines. So that was it. But these guys, they want to destroy everything. That's why you got stupid movies like Avatar and all this other shit. They'll go to another planet. They'll destroy this planet and go to another planet to do that thing. That's why the Lord's like, He's not allowing them to do that, because they are deaf. They represent death, man.
That's what's going on right now. We in the midst of that, man. The least of the flock drying America out, man. God man, they out, man. Because they're looking to make a strike on Iran, man. Anytime now, man. And that could happen. As we speaking, that could, because I remember Thursday camp on the Lancey, and that strike on Soleimani, man, that happened right after Cup, man. You got the notice on our phone, man. And that was a big move, man. Because what happened after that? World War III was trending. You know, many people were bugging out, man. You know what I mean? And that happened, man. I strike on Iran right now, man.
Yeah.
Set everything off. Economic collapse, the chip. You know what I mean?
This guy Biden, he's known to be a warmonger.
Yep.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2. Start at verse 5. It says, he also.
It's like I was watching something on the news, and Biden was saying he was speaking against Russia, and pretty much he was making a threat towards Russia that he's going to put a stop to, this Russia allegedly, hacking into the U.S. Security and into the election, so on and so forth. So he's already speaking against Russia. So he got his mind state on already starting the war.
Yep.
Go ahead, bro.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. It says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine.
Now what is that wine? There's different philosophies, man. There's different ideologies. Democracy, Christianity, man. Caesar Borgias, homosexuality. You understand? Do as thou wilt. These are the different wines, the different that's what that wine is referring to, these different philosophies and ideologies. Globalization, New World Order, feminism. Only these things are his different that wine is different philosophies that he has pushed throughout the whole entire earth, man. You understand? That's why you have what? Tokyo, man, looking just like America, man. All these different places, they have adopted ideologies and philosophies, capitalism, and it has become just like America, man. You understand?
Now you got the so-called white man. He's allowing transgenders into female sports. So that's part of that wine too.
And that was like his first fucking act. Out of all things to sign the executive order, that was the first thing this motherfucker did. Not about the coronavirus, not about Black Lives Matter. And the troops. Yeah. But that was all part of the same deal. It's like, that was the first thing this man was worried about.
You know what's crazy? At one point, like the way that life is right now, it was considered to be a joke. Like people make skits as if it was a joke.
Yeah.
Now it became real. I'll give you an example. Remember the first season of the Dave Chappelle show? And Dave Chappelle made a gay joke, like everything was just gay. And he had the gay lawnmower and everybody was just gay. Now that's what everything became. Like wherever you go, you see, a rainbow flag. Like the new American flag is the rainbow flag. And then everywhere you go, you see the rainbow flag, you see homosexuals, the mailman is gay. You go to the store to get a coffee, that person is gay. Everybody's gay. Everybody's a fun boy.
And if you think about it, even 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. Showing you how quick things went even more downhill, man. Because 10 years ago, this homosexual agenda wasn't as big as it is now. With what time, these sides waxing worse and worse. These transgressions are mounting up to the heavens and more and more. You understand? That's why in Matthew 24 and 22, if the time wasn't shortened, hey man, the elect, we need this time to be shortened for the elect to be saved. Because it's getting worse by the day.
Yeah, since you said that, we was in the chat on the brother report. He put this screenshot. He said, when will life return to normal? That's in 7.4 years at today's vaccine rates. Yeah, so that's Esau thinking that he got 7 more years in his kingdom. But that just shows you that this place is done. Because they're talking about this place coming back to normal in 7.4 years. All right? Like, how is that even possible?
Well,
It's not.
Biden said that it's going to take 10 years to have full employment. Full employment. He can't see the forecast. He's saying basically nobody's going to have a fucking job until 10 years from now. Everything back to normal.
Which that ain't gonna happen because everything done been more so automated, man. And a lot of the jobs are being cut out, man. Because everybody, if you can work from home, hey, people working from home, man. You understand? And that one. For example, I'll give you a quick example, right? We have all these different financial institutions in Midtown Manhattan and Wall Street. 80 to 90% of those people who work in those working from home. And it's gonna be so for the foreseeable future, man. So guess what? What does that affect? MTA. Because all those people, they would normally come into the office in Midtown and downtown Manhattan. So the MTA is losing hundreds, billions of dollars. Because those people ain't buying metro cars. And guess who's losing out also? The restaurant, those restaurants, those food places around bars around Midtown Manhattan, Lower Manhattan. Man. So they losing billions of dollars. And who else losing? The Ubers, man. Because people will Uber home, because it's a lot of these companies' policy for you to Uber home after what, 8, 9 o'clock, man, from working late. So that shows you the ripple effect right there, man. The whole economy, man, is fucked up.
You just mentioned jobs that people could work at home. What about the jobs people can't work at home? They can't do nothing. Now, this money that they're proposed to give, guarantee once this money is given out with the extra $400 a week with the unemployment, this shit was shut down. Because there's no use of people to be outside if you can't go to a restaurant and you can't go anywhere. You're not allowed to go nowhere. That extra money is not the money just because they care about you and pay for your bills. They want you to stay your ass at home.
It's happening in Great Britain right now.
Exactly.
Everything is on lockdown. Schools, everything. They going door to door to people's houses in Great Britain, trying to get them to take the test. You know, and they're talking about tens of thousands of stores is going to close down by the end of 2021. That's retail.
So this whole entire ripple effect is destroying the economy. So there's going to be no more middle class, period. The way things go, and that shit that happened with GameStop, that shit with AMC GameStop, that was a prime example of them trying to prevent people getting rich. So they want you to rely. They want every citizen to be a fucking welfare recipient, so to speak.
That's to show you they having they really control because they stopped it, right? They stopped it from they shut down Robinhood. I show you they could stop it at any time. They run the financial market, Wall Street, stock market.
And then they had they were prohibiting people from getting multiple shares. Trade. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's like when the new Jordan shop, man. They like, you go to get one shit. Same thing that they were doing, man.
I mean, the Jordans are not that important compared to you getting stocks and bonds, because a lot of people got rich off of that. That's why the so-called financial advisor said. He said the real people that's gonna suffer is the women and the young men that's gonna be on their phone all day, and then when they lose, they'll end up committing suicide. I'm like, what the fuck? But what he was saying basically, that was a great loss, man, and they pissed off about that.
I took mine out when I saw it downstairs. I took it out. I got something real quick. Job 14:5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee.
That's not what Esau is so-called white man, because he know the elites of Esau, you don't know. Hey, it's about time, man. The more side, ain't feeling to take them out of power, man. You understand? Their reign of terror is soon over.
So it says, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
So the more side don't appointed his bounds, man. Like people that scripture Isaiah 46 earlier. Hey, it's done with declared. It's done with order, with time limit, and with which is with Yahweh.
That's right.
That Esau, Edom can't pass, man.
But like bounds is like another word for bounds is limitation. So the Most High said a limitation. But the word bounds is when you say bounds, you're really saying boundaries. Now what's the limitation from Canada and America? You have borders. That's the limitation. So once you pass the limitation, you enter into what? You're in Mexico. That's the boundaries. That's the limitation. So now it's saying the Most High, how he appointed bounds or boundary or limitations onto the so-called white man. So all the days, Most High have a set season, a set day, a set moon phrase, a set second, minute, and hour that he's gonna actually make his move. And those days, we don't know, but it's with the Most High, and the Most High appointed that time when he actually gonna release his wrath and let everything just be destroyed.
Nope. You got it? Like 13, I believe.
Says Revelation chapter 9, verse 13.
I believe it's 13. Maybe
Verse
12.
It says, one woe is past,
Yeah, well, after that,
and behold, there come two woes more hereafter.
keep going.
And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
Right, which the Most High, he got the angels, positioned in that area by the Euphrates to do what? To stir up war. Because the angels doing, they working in the minds of men to make them to make certain moves. Go ahead.
It says, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a
They said
year.
prepared. I mean, the Most High has an appointment for Esau. Esau doesn't know that appointment that the Most High has set for him. There's an appointment, and the Most High, during that appointment in time, the Most High is going to make a move. Because the angels is the Most High's hitman. Go ahead.
Which is slave, the third part of man.
Which is the third part of man's representing towards Esau. The wicked, the evil, the devil. Go ahead.
Number of the army of the horsemen
Got it.
200,000.
Kind of the army talking about what? The missiles, the nuclear missiles. The warheads, man. Like, the Most High is going to unleash upon us 200 million, you understand? Of these missiles, man. These warheads, nuclear capable warheads, man. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, from Russia, from China, North Korea, Iran. The NATO allies are going to turn against America, the whole. You understand? Sweet. Because the missiles, the nuclear missiles, are the army of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, that's 200 million missiles.
Yeah, 200 million missiles, 200,000, 200 million. You understand?
It's like the elder said, one of the missiles can have multiple warheads. It says, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man.
Kind of like you said, the wine all has different philosophies, ideologies. Democracy, capitalism, Christianity, so on and so forth, homosexuality.
It says, neither keepeth at home.
Neither keep it at home, and that's why the United States have garrisons. The United States have more garrisons, more embassies than there are countries, man. You have multiple embassies in certain countries. Take for example a country like Cuba, which is embargo, man. They have what? Guantanamo Bay. So upon hostile enemy territory, they actually have an embassy, man. That the Cuban army, the Cuban people, they can't do nothing upon to that embassy because that's considered American soil, man. And if they attack the embassy, America has the right to invade Cuba, man. Showing you, man, neither keep it at home, man.
For large of his desires, hell, it is as death, cannot be satisfied.
And it's as death, man. Everywhere you go, man, this man bring death, man. They invaded Iraq. Millions of Iraqi, millions of Iraqi civilians died in Vietnam. You name it. So everywhere you go, man, it's as death. Invaded Panama. Millions of those Zabulonites, man. And then Benjamin's down there dead, man. You understand?
It says, and cannot be satisfied.
Cannot be satisfied, man. They can't be satisfied, man. As they, every time you look, they invaded another country. Iraq, Afghanistan, they mingling in affairs. Venezuela. Look at Trump wanted to invade Iran in the last days of his presidency.
can't be satisfied with having everything that
They gotta mention all this.
regular man would desire. Having wealth, having all types of women, all types of slaves and cattle. Nah, he can't be satisfied with having all that. He wants to have your soul. He wants to control you.
That's why they want to chip you.
The ultimate goal is power. It's not money. They have the money. They want power. They want to be a god. That's why they want to chip everybody.
Going to other planets.
Yeah. That's what. At the end of the day, that's what it is all about. It's all about them being a god. And in order for them to do that, as crazy as it sounds, these people are so stupid. We standing here looking at everybody walk by. They all got masks on. That means that what they believe the things that's coming out this man's mouth. So that entails that all these people they nothing but sheep. They'll give up their soul just to have everything to go back to normal.
That's what I said that. Job chapter 2, verse 4. It says, and Satan's answered Yahweh. He said,
Yes.
Hey man, this kingdom is dead, man. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the spirit of these people.
Yeah.
Even the spirit right now is dead, yo.
Yeah.
The restaurants are closed, man.
Yeah.
The spirit is just dead, man. This place is dead. You understand?
Job chapter 2, verse 4. It says, Satan answered Yahweh and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath we give for his life.
I can't say. That's true, man. Because hey, nobody really wanna die just so for the most part, man. People wanna live, man.
Oh well, you just said nobody wants to die. They fear death. That's the key. They fear death. A lot of these women that's walking by,
Especially women.
they fear death because all the dirt that they did. Nobody's held accountable in this present world for any actions that they do, but they scared of the afterlife. So they'll do whatever it takes, like it says right there, to make sure they stay living.
That's why you got these celebrities, they promote, take the vaccine.
Yes.
You got this nigga Plies talking about,
Oh yeah. For anything.
this nigga Plies, he said he'd take the vaccine, and he trusts the so-called white man because, you know, if we've been through everything that we've been through in the past, then why would this hurt us?
No, he said if I trust the weed man, if I trust all these chemicals, I might as well do this.
Yeah.
Nigga, not man. That's why niggas that's why you niggas gonna die, man. They can't wait.
It's like any petrol.
Go ahead.
You had Tyler Perry.
That piece of shit.
You had this nigga Tyler Perry promoting the vaccine on BET in front of the whole, so-called black community. You know, and he's getting the vaccine so-called getting the vaccine on TV.
Right, they should give him real shit so he can die.
But really, all these black celebrities, man, all these black celebrities, and people in general that you see on TV, they're obligated to promote the vaccine.
Exactly.
Because if they don't, they're not gonna coach. You're not gonna be dismissed if you're not with.
Like I said, it's not about the money. Yeah, they starving for their attention. They low level bitches, so they need that crowd. They need that. You know what I'm saying? But they all seeking what? Power. Because everything that they did was a power move. Them getting over that riches and being at certain points was to put in a power position. So they could be able to tell they want to have service as well. So these people are working, they all working for that power position. That's why Bill Gates is like, we're gonna have a global fire team or something like that, fire squad. So if a next pandemic comes about, we could. But if this vaccine is so good, shouldn't they had cured this present thing? Did they find a cure for AIDS yet? Cancer? The Common Code didn't even find that, but this is supposed to be the greatest thing ever.
What Bill Gates was saying, I was just watching him yesterday, man. I made a little video on it. He was saying a next pandemic is coming.
Yeah.
It's gonna be much worse than this one. Yeah, next pandemic is coming because you bring it in, Bill Gates. Because you are foreman, you are forefront one for elites. You understand? That's what you do next pandemic is because you're gonna, and he says it's gonna be more deadly, man. You know what I mean? How much we are with.
And that shows you it's bullshit because, I was watching this video happened to global warming? All of a sudden, that's out the window.
That's what they changed. They changed it to call it climate change, bro. So when they changed it, because remember Al Gore was the guy that he was a figurehead for global warming. So they changed it to climate change because people was figuring out this bullshit. So now, like you said, the global reset. When you have everybody, the things the way it is, how it is right now, you could come out and say whatever you could do whatever you want because the people believe in you. So if the people sit there and believe like, okay, yeah, we gotta make sure global everything is going back to, we want everything to go back to normal. The only way it's gonna go back to normal is by doing this. They're gonna do it. They wearing masks right now. They talking about not one mask, not two masks, like 4 fucking masks now.
That's true about that global warming. That global warming scare tactic. That was what that movie 2012 was based on. Right? Global warming. Yeah, because basically they were saying with this global warming propaganda, was basically saying the end of the world gonna come because of cataclysmic disaster. Because people are destroying the earth, man. Yeah. They had the black woman scared to spray hairspray shit. At the same hairspray. They're looting the ozone layer, man. All this madness, man. No, it's you who start diluting the ozone layer with your fossil fuels. And you're freaking up of the environment.
Hey, look, Biden signed the executive order. He killed that pipe, Keystone pipe thing.
Fracking or something.
Yeah. He cut all those thousands of jobs people had. Cut that shit. And then turns around and said, it's gonna opportunities to bring in more jobs. But then the people have already a skill set. Now they gotta go back to school in order to learn this new industry. So this whole shit is a farce. Everything. Because this is all part of their plan, man. All of it is part of their plan. This shit they've been planning out for a long time. That's why they gonna throw out everything they want. You know?
Hear my voice, power, my prayer, preserve my life, fail the enemy. Psalm 64 verse 1. It says, hear my voice, power. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
That's to hide us from the secret counsel of the wicked. What's the secret counsel of the wicked? To chip the population. You understand? To vaccine the population. To really genocide the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? So we want to go to hide us. You know what I mean? From that wicked counsel. From the wicked counsel, which that wicked counsel is to kill you. To kill the Israelites. Specifically the elect of Israel.
Let's think about it. Since when these people care about old people, homeless people, people that's addicts and so forth, give the shit to prisoners. They even think about giving shit to terrorists. Hold up. Shit don't add up. So what is the true agenda? And the true agenda is them trying to destroy everybody. And this, your G8s, your Bilderberg meetings, your Bohemian Groves, these are not what they call conspiracy theories. These are actual facts. The term conspiracy theory came out with the CIA when they tried to discredit someone. So that's what they're trying to do. But it's right there. The scripture tells you that these nations are having the secret councils against everybody.
Facts.
Exactly. You know? Read more, bro.
It says, their tongue like a sword, and their bows to shoot their arrows, even with words.
Hey, just like the old saying, once you lie, you gotta keep building on that lie. They sharpen up their lies. Dr. Fauci, he's the one that's been saying for a long time the mask won't do nothing. Then he turns around and said, wear a mask. Then he's saying not one, Not 2. Now it's fucking 4 masks. 4 masks. So now they're making everybody gotta go. You gotta take a public train or a public anything. You gotta wear 4 masks.
Stop and count your masks down.
They're trying to suffocate.
They try to suffocate you. But if we sit there and say wearing a mask is gonna kill you, what they'll say, no, that's conspiracy theorist terminology. All right. So they sharpen up their tongue. All right. They sharpen up everything.
All I was saying about conspiracy, showing that Esau Edom is the ultimate hypocrite dealing with these gangs and stuff. And just if you're associated with a gang, charge you with breaker charge, which is
Yes.
conspiracy.
Yes.
You understand? If you just affiliated, man, if you just standing on the same block, man, if you're wearing a certain color, you can charge you with conspiracy, man. Indict you on any charges that they report against that gang, man. Whether it's drug trafficking, gang shooting, so on and so forth, man. And conspiracy. Give you life in prison.
Look up the word conspiracy.
You understand? So they got a lot of these jigs, man. A lot of these cast, man. Conspiracy.
And the word
Big
conspiracy.
meat. Conspiracy.
The word conspiracy. You have the word con, which means to join or with. They have spire, which means to breathe. You know, so they put the words together, it means to breathe with. Because there's something breathing together with it is one unit. You know what I'm saying?
You're a compass.
One body.
It's like, they call it racketeering. I forgot the specific definition, but it's pretty much goes into all that drug trafficking and, you know,
Organized
murders.
crime.
Yeah,
Anything that has to do with organized crime and whatever, any that do with the federal case. That's how they took down the mafia. Really, we go, like Jay go talk about the non-snitching thing. The non-snitching thing really goes back to the mob, because when you became a member, it was supposed to be understood that one, you live in a life of breaking the law, and if you ever got if you got pen, you had to understand that you keep your mouth shut. So that was really the whole snitching thing was. So they'll grab people up, but them charges wouldn't stick because the person didn't tell. So if they have the person tell it or inform it, some cases would drop. So what they did was they created the racketeering law. Now if a person is affiliated or know about a crime, they can put it as part of the indictment. And through that, they was able to break down the mob.
Yep. You got no loyalty within that. Because once one guy gets wrapped up, he's telling everybody.
Yep.
You know, so he can get his percentage reduced.
Yep. And they built that. They built it like that.
And see, they was giving them football numbers, you know, just for being, you know, associates.
Guilty by association.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of them couldn't do the time, so you know, they was telling on each other, and they were telling which member was what role this person played. And they took them all down.
Yep.
Here we go. It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows.
Now, when you wet something, now wet is a old English word that means to sharpen. So the Lord's referencing the tongue as being a sharp instrument, and they're sharpening it because what Esau do, he just don't come up with lies. When during the construction of the lie, he also come up with counter arguments, yes, just in case you have conspiracy theories, people that figured it out. So they come up with counter arguments. That's what I mean. They wet they tongue like a sword. They just don't come. Everything they do is strategic and it's calculative. Right?
It says that they make sure in secret at the perfect. Suddenly,
Now who's the perfect? It's Israel. Are they perfect right now? No. But they still comprise of the perfect because they're Israelites. They come up to seed. So the perfect right now is the elect. Now how they shooting perfect at the perfect right now? Shooting at the perfect right now. They doing it an example of breaking the family. In the 50s, or the 40s and the 50s had the way to break up the family, so that way if they take the father out, they could control or develop the sort of character in that future generation. So they came up with the war on poverty, and they introduced welfare. Then they have the woman live movement. Now the woman live movement opened up idea for feminism. Now, if a woman think an idea of feminism, a man doesn't play a role in that family. So adopting feminism was a role to break down the family, so that way they can have more access to the children, so they control future generations.
Well, that would be considered a conspiracy theory. But that's facts.
Which goes back to women's suffrage, giving women the right to vote. That's prior to that, only men could vote.
Yeah.
Women's suffrage.
A woman wasn't allowed to work. You know, the woman was maintained. The woman was maintained by her father. If she was married, she was maintained by her husband.
That's conspiracy theory. Wikipedia. It says a conspiracy theory is an explanation for an event or situation that invokes a conspiracy by sinister and powerful groups, often political in motivation, when others' explanations are more probable. The term has a negative connotation, implying that the appeal to a conspiracy is based on prejudice or insufficient evidence.
So they'll use that a person that's let's say if the person that's considered to be a conspiracy theorist, they'll put the narrative on that person that person overreading into a certain situation that doesn't even exist. Like, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. Yes. Now, the conspiracy theorist used as a person that, you know, that overreading to matters. And now they see it, he's not there.
That's like I got a quote.
Look at the word conspiracy. Yeah, just the word conspiracy.
Dave Chappelle said it the best. He said, when you just want to discredit someone, you call them crazy. You know, and that's what it is. The terminology. If you call someone conspiracy theorist, it's like you basically, oh, he's just crazy. You know, and that's what they did. That's what the CIA exactly what they did. So now they take that terminology and they say that conspiracy theories are terrorists, because they use January 6th as a thing that to happen.
They encourage themselves.
Hold on, look at the word conspiracy.
Yeah, conspiracy.
And if you check it out, right, that's how America was able to invade Iraq, based on a conspiracy that what? Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, of which was all a false man.
Yes.
So they end up killing millions of Iraqis based upon a conspiracy, a false conspiracy like that. You understand? I'll show you, America, this Edomite is a hypocrite, man. Especially this American Edomite is a hypocrite.
Conspiracy, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful.
Read that again.
Conspiracy, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful.
Now, do you see the origin of the word? Let's break it down. Press the tab in the bottle.
Yeah, I see. Conspire.
Okay. Break it down.
Alright, this is the definition of conspire. Make secret plans jointly to commit an unlawful and harmful act.
Okay, now break down the compound word of the conspiracy. What did it say for con?
Well, it says gun together, spire, breathe.
So it's other words to breathe with. Other words, if you breathe in with, you become one unit or one body. So they'll say that's conspiracy. But y'all together as y'all one unit into, you know, to do something that's unlawful. So that's what they're saying. Somebody's in it's part of conspiracy, and they part of that body. A mafia, I consider to be a body, a family. A gang considered to be a body or a family. Or what's that shit out in Saudi Arabia? The stuff they got. The what? No, Saudi Arabia. Whatever, you know, so-called terrorists, ISIS, whatever. I was thinking about Al-Qaeda. They were saying, you know, they consider them as a body. So that's what the word conspiracy actually means. Bring out
64. It says, verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil attitude.
By the way, they conspire. Yeah, they conspire together. They come together as one unit, as a body. Go ahead.
They commune of laying snares.
Commune. Look, somebody look up the word commune. Nah, the word itself. Read again from the top.
It says, Psalm 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in evil matches. They commune of laying snares privily.
So look up the word commune.
Yeah, commune means a group of people living together and sharing possession and responsibility. It says,
What's that word?
French from medieval Latin, it says come.
So the word commune goes like the word common.
So they have a common mind.
Right. So in other words, when something is common, meaning you're saying that have something that's similar.
Yep.
They're in agreement with them, being in agreement. So they all in agreement, have something that's similar. What's the similarity? Similarity have together, bringing down these people in the tribes.
Yep.
Okay. So it said they commune.
It says, they commune of laying snares.
Other words, so they have something in common. They have agreement. Things are similar. Go ahead.
It says, snares privily. They
Privately
say,
means to do it privately. Go ahead.
they say, who see them, who shall see them? They search out iniquities.
They search out iniquity. So they said, who's aware of this agenda? Because now you have you have fact checks now. Because there's a lot of information that's being spread to social media on IG, Facebook, and people passing it, and you know they're throwing fact check to stop information from going out there. Because the information going out is a disruption of their plans. That's why it says the fullness of the sufficient should be in straits. Because they're trying to bring this agenda, but you got a lot of people talking about, I'm not taking a vaccine or the injection. I'm not gonna take the injection. I'm not gonna do this. I don't care what happens. Because they watching videos of conspiracy theories. Okay?
They search out iniquities.
It doesn't mean they search out iniquity. They calculate their steps. They just don't put things. They just don't act on things. They do tests. They do experiments. Then they bring the plan to motion. Okay?
They accomplish a diligent search.
They have certain drills. So, like Esau studies psychology. He studies people mannerisms. He studied the men reasonings. That's what the scripture said. The children what's the children of this world, the wise and the children of light. He looks into everything. Don't believe me? Go on Google, type in anything. You can find it out. A lot of these articles, guess what? A lot of these articles you read up on, guess what? Niggas ain't write it. They're usually done by so-called Jews or these crackers that write these articles that we research. Because Esau look into things. You want to find out something? Like let's say you got a check engine code, and in your car, you're trying to find out what it is. You go on YouTube. Guess who's doing a show on what it could possibly be? It be these crackers. Do it yourself thing. It be crackers. These crackers look into shit. That
says,
and these are just low-level crackers. Imagine what the elites are doing. Right?
both the inward thought, every one of them in the heart is deep.
That right there, that shows you how far it's going to go. You go, like you said, Ola and us, bringing out a lot of good times. The whole concept of good times is bringing out so much. So that they study how Jake is, and they even put it out on broadcasting. They know certain influences that you see with your eyes that make you act a certain way. That's why niggas act the way they do, because it's very studied. We also study about putting certain things in your neighborhood. Back in my time was
back to what I was saying before. Now, during the going into the 60s, it made it difficult for Israelite men to find jobs. So they was going to a stage of poverty, and then they threw drugs into the community, and that was the only way, because they knew that was the only way they were going to see some type of employment, and they had to do it, you know, in the streets, selling drugs to their own people, selling, you know, heroin to your own person, and that's why you had a lot of hood rich people at the time, and then you had heroin, you had coke, and then crack got introduced, and niggas became fucking millionaires in the hood by destroying their own people.
Yep. And then, plus to add more insult to the injury, they were putting in films. So that way, as TV wasn't that big back then, but as time went on, people started to stay in home. They got to see the films portraying what was happening in the streets. So for the next generation to see, like, oh, this is how it is. Everybody's fucking favorite movie is Scarface. Why? Why? Before Scarface was Superfly. Before Superfly, man, all these other films. And that's what happens. What happens to that? Your mind, psychology.
Yeah.
You see the things like, oh, this is how I want to be. Then there's a terminology that the society like to be part of life. That's the term to be part of the world. So in order to get the girl, you have to be a badass. You have to, back in the days, you have to smoke a cigarette. That was a thing. That was a thing back then where it was growing up for cigarettes. So if people think like, oh, this is how you're supposed to be, your mindset is following that. That's how they study everything. The whole entire CIA, their whole ops was on American soil. That's why there's a documentary. They said that Walt Disney, the guy himself, it was the CIA that bought all that land. Hollywood, all those movies that you see, they're the ones that's doing it. This is all psychological profile, all psychological. It's a
warfare.
It's a warfare.
Like you're talking about how they had the black exploitation films, where they like all the movies you seen a Jake on, but he had to play a role of a stereotype, being a pimp, being a prostitute, you know, being a drug dealer. Then it was showing a lot of movies of, you know, Jake being on drugs, and there was a cracker coming in to save the day, to save that child from a drug addicted family, and he bring him in. That's what stuff shows you.
Oh, you talking about Good Times?
Good Times. Then you had what's that? Saving Isaiah, Losing Isaiah. And he had so many films, you know, that it depicts the cracker coming in and saving Jake from their own destructive behavior.
White savior.
What? You said what?
The white savior. Which goes back to like the same concept with Caesar Borges.
And White Zaddy. White Zaddy. That's what it is.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I mentioned the crack, man. You speak to a lot of the jigs in like late 70s, early 80s. They would tell you before crack got introduced, the gangs and stuff, they wasn't killing each other like that. It was really fist fights and stuff like that. But what they tell you, as soon as they introduced the crack, the violence skyrocketed. That's what you have. The whole guns, man. So Jake killing each other wholesale over money, over turf, man. Because they're not gonna let another man hustle on their block, taking over their money.
That's right. Who know what's doing the crime? These crackheads. A lot of these crimes were being done by a lot of turf wars between the drug dealers and the crackheads was breaking in people's cars, and stealing their radios, you know, selling it back in the streets. You know, I forward this joke. Dave Chappelle said, see, in the streets, there's the only place you get a brand new VCR for $20 from a crackhead. Yeah. So that's what it was doing. So you had crime rising in the inner cities because of the drugs, and which was all done by Esau. He strategically done it. Then you had a generation of kids whose father wasn't there and their mother was drug addicts. So they picking up the mannerism in the streets, how to be a man, how to conduct themselves. So they themselves came a person to live a life of crime.
Yeah. I can say something on the crack show you that how they were smuggling the drugs. There was these Edomites bringing it in, which was CIA, for the CIA government. And they was bringing it into the communities, man, and giving it to like these jakes that would like become top drug dealers. Ray Fleming?
No.
Was it Ray Fleming?
Ricky Ross.
Ricky
Ross.
Ricky Ross. There's another one. He was working for. He was selling it for the cops.
Oh, in the Bronx?
Forget his name. Oh, Larry Davis. Larry Davis. Yeah.
They're all part of the problem because they're the ones that was trying to get rich. Because that's the whole. It's a systematic destruction of the Israelite family to the point where you have this madness that's going on. The women and the boys don't act like girls, and this is all systematic.
That's right. That's right.
You know what? Where are we today? Because now Jake just said, oh, well, that passed. Excuse me, that's not going on no more. Well, it still is. Esau just switch it up. That's why, you know, Esau, he fund black colleges.
Yeah.
Like, who's the ones that's really going to black colleges? Black women. Because Esau figured the time it would take for her to complete the schooling. She's already in her 30s. Then she have to date. That's going to take time. And then her standards up here are no such nigga that exists. Her standards are due on somebody that doesn't exist, and that person does exist. He wouldn't want her.
Yeah.
And the chance of dating and having a healthy relationship is like down, and chance of having kids go down.
Yeah.
So like they fund black colleges so that that they won't produce. And then another thing they did was they fund colleges because somebody might ask like, well, what about the men that go to colleges? Well, guess what? The purpose of going to college is to get an entry level for a business that you don't have shares in, or you don't have no ownership of, because they wanted to stop. Another thing, they wanted to stop from Jake owning businesses, having family businesses. That's why you see trucks like Johnson's and Son. Give me any last name. Wendy's and Son. You see all these different corporations. McDonald and Sons.
Yeah.
You know, matter of fact, they got a PC, Riches and Son.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, they have family-owned businesses. I'm pretty sure PC, Riches and Son was a small business, and they got bought out. You know, and became big. That's what most major corporation was, but it was owned. But it was a family-owned business, and they didn't want Jake to have family-owned businesses that could inherit generational wealth. So they pushed the idea to go to school, because the longer you go to school, you're never gonna have any property or ownership.
That's right.
You're just gonna be a worker.
That's it. That too.
You're in debt. That's right.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10.
So I went to school, but I also dropped out of college.
Kind of colleges is really, for brothers who've been to college, it's really a breeding ground for the wicked ideologies of Esau Edom.
Yeah.
They push homosexuality, especially nowadays. At all time, 95% of those students and those college campuses, they are with homosexuality. Feminism, woman over men. Forget about the woman in the colleges. They are totally gone, man. They speak about sexual. They put sexual. The hookup culture, man. Women sleeping with hundreds of men. You understand? That's not it's indoctrination, but top level indoctrination. And if you have your mind about you, man, if you're not trained, if your parents didn't instill in you, basically if you're not
it's a breeding ground of this shaping your mind. Now, in the hood, we all from politics. You all know this. Biggie said it the best. He said either you're going to be
Got a wicked jump
J's
shot
or be selling crack.
Yeah.
The other option is going to military,
Yeah.
or the other option is going to college.
Yeah.
Either way you look at it, it's all a trap.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take you away from who you're supposed to be. And they're going to remold you to the liking of their life. Because in college,
a diligent search.
exactly. Because you're not gonna require the things of the past of your fathers, because you believe the system that you're in.
That's right.
You fully know that exceptional nigga, you know that's living in the hood, like he has everything going, his whole family's a criminal, but he's that one guy like, yeah, he's book smart, yeah, he's gonna get somewhere, and the only option that he has is gonna lead him right back to some mental slavery. So Esau has systematically done this purposely. Because either you're gonna be in prison or in the fucking grave with your friends that you grew up, or you're gonna be a fucking slave.
Yeah.
Corporate slave. And so that shows you, man, this whole system, this is a trap. Right? This is not made for us to be here to prosper. This is made for us to, this is punishment, man. Punishment. Also, I was gonna let the brother say, now colleges have sororities. The sororities is just for those other exceptional niggas that could be part of the problem, which is today when you see all these educated people that think they smart, whatever, because who gets better, who get the job before you do, because they've been in sororities, all right? They've been in all these other Greek mythology, fraternities and all this shit. The girls in the Golden Star and all this other shit.
Conspiracy.
It's conspiracy because they're giving each other codes. Matter of fact, it's my favorite scripture. Proverbs, what, 6 and 12?
Yeah,
6 and 10.
beautiful.
Because it shows you, because this whole system is designed, it's a secret amongst each other. That's why you go to court. If you have the high-paid lawyer, the high-paid lawyer is going to get you out of that situation. Not because you paid him, because he knows the judge. They're going to milk you for whatever they got.
That brotherhood.
That's that brotherhood, that secrecy that they talking about. Because once you get into that square, he controls the whole law system. You don't even know these things because they don't teach you these things. But when you go to certain colleges and you get in the right way, they'll tell you, oh, this, that, to the third.
That's right.
Got it? So this is 6 and
Can I say something real quick? Wait, found that? Now, you know the difference between Jake going to college and Esau going to college? Now, Esau will go to college. Well, Esau kids will go to college, and when they come out, they have connections, and they family know different people. You're not saying every private, but a lot of them do.
Right.
You know, a lot of them, you know, whatever field they're trying to get into, they have connections, and because you know how they say it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you.
Yeah.
So they learn how the right people to meet. They put themselves in position to meet the right people and get put on different things. Whereas Jake just go there and focus on academics.
Right.
And after your academics, you're done.
Right.
Don't even know anybody.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you hoping you meet somebody through what they call this thing, internship. Hoping you might meet the right person and you get in the field where you want to be in.
Yeah, Jake be in the library for hours, man, just studying hard. In them colleges, man, going hard.
Really, a lot of Jakes.
Yeah.
A lot of you Jakes be going there and fucking around too, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just
I was one of them.
Fucking bitches, man.
A
lot of Jakes be going to that.
Boston High School.
That's to be honest, that's the only reason I went to college, because I didn't want to be home.
It's an escape route. You want to get out the fucking, if you from the hood, let's be real. A lot of us are from the hood. You do not want to be in the hood.
That's right.
You want to get the fuck out of here.
That's right.
So you have all these fake ass niggas that's talking all this shit. I represent this, that, that's not a guy from the hood. A guy from the hood is gonna be like, yeah, I want to get the hell out of here. Fuck this shit. A smart person. Only a dumbass is gonna come back. What happens when they come back? They get killed. All right. But read that scripture. And since you said that, get Job. Matter of fact, drop that. Read Job 21. 8, no, like 5, 8. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes.
Well, forward mouth also means he's double talking. He means one thing, but he says something. There's secrecy, there's codes being spoken on.
Yeah.
All right, you know?
He winketh with his eyes.
He winketh with his eyes, giving each other signals, hand gestures. That's why the whole Crips and Bloods are throwing out all these signs, the demonic signs. Where do you got that from? They got that from that's a form of witchcraft. All right, that's masonry. But they don't even know that. That's the enchantment. They don't even know that.
It's not like how we was when we was younger. This whole thing now, the Bloods and Crips got a whole different vibe. Back then, you heard niggas like, so look on the street. The nigga from other block crossing the street, niggas see each other, then they start piecing each other. And niggas actually had flags and colors. Now you see niggas with beads.
Right.
It was a lot more aggressive back then.
Right.
And then growing up in the 90s, that's when this whole flood thing came from Rikers Island. So it was big in New York.
Yeah.
Now it's just like a bunch of nerds talking, you know, they gangs and shit.
Even if I can say something, Salaki, even like real quick, even like down to tattoos. Certain tattoos, like the Bloods will normally get a tear on their right side, Crips to get tears on their left side. You got a lot of people that get deaf before the sign on their hand. That's to let you know that I'm down with Crips. You know what I'm saying? I'm down with, you know, a certain Crips set and stuff like that, you know? So,
you felt that enchantment. You know, even being in high school, you know, you hear niggas like, there'd be a big ass crowd. And people walking, bumping each other, and niggas just throw it. It's like a whole vibe. You felt that vibe, but that's something about to kick off or somebody about to get stabbed or something. It was an enchantment. You know? And Jake, they become members of these gangs, but they don't even know these gangs come, like, what's the origin of the gang? All they know is that their older cousin was a member, or their pops, or their mother, their uncle was a member, but they don't know the formation, the true formation of it.
No, that shit, that whole Bloods and Crips shit, that was not the New York thing. New York already had their own gangs. Yeah, Subsequence, Autobots, all these other different gangs. So that whole shit, and I remember I talked to one kid, a lot younger than I am. He's like, why you doing this for? He said, oh, because it's old. I'm like, yeah, that's not New York. New York was never about that.
That got introduced in the 90s.
Around like 97.
Shit,
Like, what the fuck is this? Some LA shit. That goes into a whole other subject in itself. But show you the mindset of niggas. This is just motherfucking followers.
It's a whole different vibe came to New York.
But New York always been a violent town, period. Always been big city.
The Warriors.
It was a violent place because poverty, man. You have poverty with anything, and you have that. And it's full of immigrants. And New York's whole foundation of New York is built upon immigrants.
That's right.
From another place it's always been a collide.
That's right.
So this shows you that this place is a violent town. Before you get that, brother, I'm sorry, because there was just more to this.
Isaiah 51:20. Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in the net.
And now a wild bull in the net, people like I said, if you put a bull in a China shop, it's gonna destroy everything. So he's trying to escape. That's what you get. When you look at any hood, anywhere in America, where Jake is at, they're always in the corners. Right? It doesn't matter if there's New York, Cleveland, LA, whatever, they're always in the corner.
Baltimore.
They'll play CeeLo, they'll play craps, they'll play dominoes, they'll do whatever, smoking weed, drinking, but they're trying to escape from their problems.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
Like a bull in a net. A bull is trying to escape that net. So these guys have all this wrath and trying to escape from that net. But Esau's keep pressing them down. They have no other choice.
That's right.
You look at the nature of a bull has a natural aggressive nature. Or like what's that like chickens, right? With the male chicken rooster. Go in the den with a rooster and see you're gonna try to pluck your eye out. They got aggressive natures. And that's Jake. They overly aggressive because they all dealing with fucking trauma. You know, mother was a crackhead, or coming from being raised in a foster home, or being raised by their grandmother. They don't know their parents and not having direction, so they're in the hood looking for love, and they find a connection with different gangs or the street. That's the most love they get, and deep down they fucking angry at the fucking world. They just want to rob everything. Somebody has something, want to take it for them. They like wild bulls in the net.
That's right.
You look at you be one Jake walk past the street, other Jake come the opposite direction. Niggas don't even know each other.
Shit.
Well, nigga, what you looking at me? What you grilling me for? Then now these niggas fighting. Oh shit. Let's not talk about Coney on Easter on Coney Island.
Oh man.
Somebody step in your new sneakers and Coney Island on Easter.
Did you ever have Jewish kids?
Been there a couple of times when I tell you
do this stuff? Or do they act like wild bulls? You don't hear that shit. But it said this is talking about the Lord's chosen people.
That's tell you who the tribes are. That's a sign who the tribes are.
Always in the fucking corner. We stick out like a sore thumb, man. You don't want to go to the corner because you don't
know some people out on the street walking, but it's all saying nothing else.
Perfect.
That's not,
And that's
perfect.
Trying to escape the problem.
Well, them so-called Jews, see, them so-called Jews, they when the male become a certain age, become 12, you know, they have this bar mitzvah for him, whatever. They invest into his business, and they start him off right, so he can be self-sufficient. And then when he develops his own businesses, they spend amongst each other. They keep the money within each other. They'll be beefing with each other. They have disagreements. Those other dudes have disagreements. Of course they do. We don't see them. We don't hear about it because they keep it amongst themselves. So how the hell did the tribe? Niggas, you don't even gotta know the nigga. You just know it by name and face. You know these two niggas beefing. Don't stand too close for them because they're gonna try to shoot each other heads off.
A lot of jakes, they grew up without their daddies in the house.
Daddy issues, bro. I'm from that generation. Damn near all of us, everybody in the classroom like, yo, you like your daddy's coming? Oh, they be like, that was a common thing.
Or Father's Day.
Forget about Father's Day, forget
was
about
a kid.
anything. You be a lucky kid if you have a father in your life.
Quick precept, real quick.
Yeah, pick it up.
Real quick, this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 54, and it says, "So that man that is tender amongst you, and very
What
delicate."
do you mean by that man being tender? Meaning he was compassionate. You know, like you seen a dude. All right, let's say Jake walking right, and trying to get through the ice, and he slip and bust his ass. What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna hope the nigga up. They're gonna laugh. They're gonna pull out their phone like, oh shit, niggas bust his ass. But back in ancient time, Jake was more compassionate. If that would have happened, oh, hope that dude up. CV right. Good? All right, later. So that's what I mean, the men that's tender among you. So it was compassionate even among strangers. They didn't even know.
Yeah, that's right. So so that man that is tender amongst you and very delicate, his eye shall be towards his brother.
One time, if even you as a kid,
Golden.
people like you seen elders, certain elders like that know your mother, your father. They will give you money to go to the store. Oh, they're in the store, you're in the store. They'll pay for it as a family member. That's compassion, you know, like they had that compassion. Now it's not like that. It says I should be evil towards his brother.
Yeah.
And that's why Jake is always clashing. Because going back to the curses, they never could get along. They don't have respect for boundaries for each other. They always beefing.
This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender amongst you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
That's what you call a toxic relationship.
Toxic, yeah.
That's because a man, he's out of order, his woman's gonna be out of order. And you all about your stress. So a lot of these guys get around these women and they bugged out their goddamn mind. Our people are just we're scarred people, man. We are scarred people. We're gone, literally. The only thing that's keeping us around is the spirit of the Lord. Alright? Because all of us are affected by the trauma. There's not one person, that's another thing I used to hate growing up. Everybody acting like, yo, we all poor. We all come from the poorest neighborhoods. You know, New York is district.
Jumping in clothes.
Yeah, they're jumping. Yo, we all in the same district. So we all around the same hood area.
Yeah.
And we all go to the one school. Yet everybody's talking shit about each other like they fucking better than us. Like, yo, you poor just like I am.
Making fun of your clothes.
Making fun of your clothes. Oh, you got the latest.
I got good clothes at home. I got name brand clothes. I just don't wear my good stuff to school. You know, niggas a lie.
Yeah.
I just wear my good stuff to school.
Yeah, good.
You got the kid.
Man.
You got that one kid that always got all the greatest gears and all that. Like,
all the new Jordans.
All the new Jordans.
Because daddy work.
No. His daddy don't work. They've already lived in a project somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's getting welfare.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
child support.
Con.
So when a parent gets the money, oh yeah, you know they spoil that child.
That's right.
And they spoil to give him.
That's
So
right.
he comes to thinking I'm better than you because he's getting filled up in the head like, yeah, you better
looking
than
at your
everybody
sneakers,
else.
and your parents might be dysfortunate. You might got sneakers like probably twice in a year.
Yeah.
Back to school.
Get Jeremiah fired.
And around like Easter, when income tax when he came. And that was it.
Mm-hmm. That's
But it
right.
shows you how the level of Drake, man.
Kind.
Broken people, man.
That's right, brother.
Completely broken, man.
That's right. That's right.
And that's why it's sad to hear when you hear like, oh, my hood is small, dangerous, la da da. Who cares?
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
It's not supposed to be dangerous.
Exactly. Well, why are you representing something that doesn't have nothing to do with you? You know? Because we all go through that shit.
Yeah.
I came from this block, that block, this block is dangerous, da da da. Then you go to, when I went to another state,
Yeah.
people couldn't stand me. A lot of people hated me because I was from New York. I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And they talk about, yeah, but where I'm from is this, that. I'm like, I don't care. And there's some people that just be shocked in the face, like, you from Brooklyn?
You know what they call Baltimore? They call Baltimore
Bodymore.
Bodymore.
Well, that's a real
my
proud
mom's,
business.
that's where my
To put
family
to
live.
yourself.
Yeah.
Show you how stupid these people are, man.
Yeah.
Jay go hard for that, man.
Yeah,
The murder
yeah.
count for the murder capital.
Yeah.
Murder
Like
capital.
that, huh?
They glorify ignorance.
Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 1.
Yeah, start at one. Yeah, Isaiah 5, 1 and
1. Run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem and see no.
Now Jerusalem is who? It's Israel. Wherever the tribes go, that's Jerusalem.
That's right.
Because Jerusalem, like we always say, is the people before a place.
That's right.
So what it then Puerto Rico, DR, Haiti,
Yeah.
Brazil, Jamaica, or in the Caribbean islands, that's Jerusalem. So whatever the tribes are, that's considered Jerusalem. Go ahead.
And see no, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof, if ye can find a man, if there be any that executed judgment.
So the Lord's saying, like, all right, He giving you know how to get all these challenges. The Lord got a challenge. Go ahead, look, see if you can find men that honor the Most High, that try to serve the Most High. Go ahead.
That executed judgment, that seeketh the truth, and I will
The truth. What's the truth? The scriptures. Go ahead.
and I will pardon it. And though they say the Lord liveth, surely they swear falsely. O Lord,
Because a lot of these jakes, they say they seeking for the truth, but are they really? You know, they'll go to the churches and they'll call themselves open in the Bible, but won't exercise anything that's written. You know, like the Bible says, don't eat pork. Well, that was back in the day. You can eat it now.
Right.
The Bible says, don't drink about adultery. They still commit adultery. You know, they figure as long as they go to church on Sunday, they always gonna be parted and they're gonna commit sin through the whole week. And they just know the Most High gonna pardon them as long as they go to church on Sunday. Go ahead.
and though they say the Lord liveth, surely they swear falsely.
As long as I stay a nice person, you know, I give to the poor, I say good morning every morning, I'm a good person. No, the Most High ain't basing your righteousness on how kind you are as a person. Because some of the nicest people are witches.
Kind.
Most High judge you based on the content on how you conduct your the law or your faith and try to keep the law.
I remember going to school, a lot of jakes would always say they want white teachers because white teachers are nice people, man. But that's to show you how backward shit gets, because when you understand the truth, you know the so-called white man is the devil, man.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna front. Like I learned more in class from my the Edomite teachers than the nigga teachers. I ain't gonna front. That's true. Because like majority of the teachers are black women, and and the way they taught a certain way that didn't fit your spirit or Jake's spirit. Now, and you always hear that the black man's a dying race, dying species. You're gonna be dead or in jail. They kept pushing that in the vibration, like damn. After I graduate, you know, the only thing waiting for me is prison. And dying, like god damn, I'm in school right now. I gotta keep hearing that. Yeah. But whereas when I went to we had white teachers, I learned more. Like I remember I had one white teacher, he had us read different, you know, Shakespeare, different Shakespeares.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I started learning certain etymology of words. Started learning prefix and suffix and origin of words. I'm like, I was like so amazed, like, oh shit. You know, I never even, back when I was amazing, but I learned it from an Edomite teacher.
Yeah, a lot more easier, simpler.
They make it more simpler. Like Jake will teach it to you to the point where like you already know the content of the information, but like it's a we call that refresher. But you learn something for the first time, but I ain't gonna get this. And Jake just give up. The majority of Jake just give up because it's not meant to be taught to you. Because a lot of times, like I always talk about, a lot of these women do well in school because the Most High designed women to be able to absorb information, whether she understands information or not. She's gonna absorb it. So when the test comes, she regurgitates memory on paper. So she's gonna get high scores, whereas the dudes, they may not do as well because they don't understand the information. So they're not gonna, men are more logical. So if it don't logical make sense, they're not gonna care. They're gonna be in the back trying to talk to the girls. They're gonna find something fun to do in class. That's usually what happens. And you think Esau don't know? Esau strategically does this. You know what I'm saying? Like, give you an example, business class. Who the fuck gonna sit in business class just reading the, okay, you learn all these business definitions of business terms, and you gonna remember it. You're not gonna learn that. The only way you learn, like in my school, you know, they actually had them kids start a business. Not when you get the experience of starting a business, most things start making sense. Supply and demand. I remember it because you tried it out.
I don't know if they had that up here. They had back home. They had on the job training in business.
Nah, I don't have that here.
Back home,
I don't have that here.
Yeah, on the job training. So if you was like, they even had it for like, you know, like high school.
Definitely don't have that here.
When you was a senior,
that's why you niggas so dumb.
Just stop.
He's showing off, man. He's showing off.
Your education system is garbage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It's really, the New York education system is really just a daycare. It's just, that's what it really was. It's just for you to, it's like for you to, for your parents go somewhere, you just there to kill time till your parents come back to home.
According to statistics, as they say, New York education only goes up to 7th grade. According to, because when you go down south education is a little more advanced than New York. You know. Still, kind of.
No, I mean, the American people are still regardless. And you know they don't do labor force workshops anymore because back in the South, that's how the South was booming because we had a lot of our people that was in skilled trades.
Right.
So you can come out of high school with a trade. That's how it used to be. It used to be like that. You come out of high school, you can have a trade, and that was back in when was that? They put a stop to that because Jake was going to his brother point. I'm gonna interrupt you, but going to the brother point. Men came out of high school. They went to the trade, went to a field, and they became successful at it. They put a stop to it.
Yeah, and I mentioned also the stoppage of that, those programs like that was primarily for the fact that when you learn skilled trades or things like brother said, supply and demand, those were the power structures that forward certain black power movements. Those were the people that was behind political parties of like Malcolm X and what's his name, Martin Luther King. So Esau finding out you got a skilled tradesman making top dollar, and he a black man because the skilled trade don't discriminate on what race you are. You got to stop these guys from doing that. Let's put them in colleges.
They seen exactly. They seen this. They seen this is set. Hold on, let's go back. Yeah, they seen how the success behind it, and they're like, let's take it become too successful. They got their fathers, and they mess up on it. Their father step in like, yeah, do this better like that. So they seen how the effect of it, like, nah, we gotta put a stop to it, man. Right? We go to these colleges. We don't need these guys, because you may start work for a company, and after a while, you like, the thought gonna come to your mind, like, all right, I'm building up experience. Why would I work for somebody? I can run my own business, and then you start your own business, and that business becomes successful. And stuff like that was going on. So they had to dismantle Jake. Take the father out. Take different trades out of school. You know, introduce welfare. Where the government will be your zaddy. White zaddy.
Oh, you got something real quick.
Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. This is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are full of prey.
That's the whole point. I'm sorry, brother. Go to the point. The whole purpose of dismantling having a trade, because they wanted to make it to where the only way you could bring income was through the streets.
Right,
and that's what happened.
Right.
They took away these programs. Jake was going to the street and making money that way.
Right.
That's what the scripture says. These people robbed and spoiled because they can't stand on their own. All right, if you can't stand on your own, you are acceptable to anything, and that's what happened to. It was open season on Jake, man.
And then they was making money off you in the prisons. It was free labor.
Still on.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it was doing. That's the whole purpose of Jake being in prison, because now what they would charge a person for the labor, a lot of money. Now, based off the law, you can legally put somebody in slavery through prison.
For $40,000 a year, every inmate.
Yep.
So you go to prison not for the crime, but for the time.
Yep.
You know, and that's why they throw so many numbers at you.
Stocks them on.
You want a career, go to prison.
Yeah.
It pays little, but you sure had a job.
Time.
That's right.
As it says,
They'll leash you out. And you know what movie showed you that? They show you that in the movie Life. You know, they was making money off you. They will lease you out for different corporations. They'll lease out your labor to different corporations and make money off you when you was in prison.
That's that convict leasing.
Convict leasing, yeah.
And how it works is pretty much a convict could be in one jail and he gets sent to another to work there. It's literally like that. It's a convict and you're on the lease.
I was watching that movie, Prison Song. You know what that nigga, he got locked up. Q-Tip? Yeah, he got locked up and shit. And they had him working construction, right? And
asbestos.
Yeah, asbestos. That's what I was going to say. The inmates in there that was working is, they called asbestos because they was in that toxic environment. Not having masks and shit like that. And they was paying them like what? A penny an hour or some shit? 10 cents or something. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and it show you how in Prison Song, now in that movie, it show you how now like Q-Tip character, right?
Yeah.
He grew up in a foster home, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they tell you in detail what happened to his mother and father. No, his mother got arrested. Yeah, it was married. His mother got arrested. So he grew up pretty much in a foster home, and that messed him up. He was talented. He was good at photography, but he never able to fulfill that goal because one, he was traumatized of them taking away his mother, then growing up in a foster home, not feeling love. So he ended up making one bad mistake. He's in prison, and that's not just his story. That's a common story going on Jake.
Con.
And then when he got locked up, not to make it about this movie, but he got locked up. This homeboy that he grew up with ended up being a faggot, trying to just come on to him and shit.
He's a fun boy.
Yeah. Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid.
The school system we was going into, and also the entertainment, even people that try to be in the entertainment business, those are all trapped. You only left with so many options in this society.
Yeah.
You know?
To back up, they said they were snares are trapped. So they set up the condition to trap you in a prison to make money off you. Because they already have a condition. Some people are going to be slaves on the outside, some slaves are going to be on the inside. Because that's all it is. Like when you go to school, what the really U.S. schooling is really workforce training. You're not meant to really receive a good education. It's no workforce training.
It says, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth. You know, so they are for prey and none delivereth. All right, trapped in this system. The word system means a pit. Okay, and that's dealing with our people, man. Because under the authority of the so-called white man, which is Esau Edom. All right, you know they set up all these traps, man. All right, you know the prison house is filled with wolves, mainly so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. How many Israelite men are locked up in jail for something that they didn't do, you know, or for some light case, you know, a bag of weed or, you know, marijuana, whatever they doing all this type of time, man.
Yeah, man, I also mentioned too that whole Joe Biden. Yeah,
No. So
that whole that whole Joe Biden situation where Joe Biden signed in the crime bill, which incarcerated most of you black and Latinos. But yeah, y'all was going so hard to put him in office.
You ain't speaking for it.
The crime bill. That was the same thing. It's Clinton, Biden, that crime bill. Like Clinton was like 5, 10, 15.
True strikes.
True strikes.
Spirit life to your mind.
All this other shit. So this whole society system, this whole
we down to 5. This whole joint is lit.
It's built as a prison cell. Jake, alright? It's all from coast to coast. So yeah, from coast to coast, it's a prison sentence.
That was the 1994 crime bill. Mass incarceration. That's why he said they all snared in prison houses. Then you had a movement a few years back of stop and frisk. Oh, NYPD was going hard. Every Jake with a black hoodie on was getting thrown to the fucking wall. Yeah, thrown to the wall. So they hit down.
Your experience with police encounter was started at age 12, man. You so young, even though you don't understand anything, just getting put against the. You come home from school. You come home from school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was to stop you. That used to happen to me all the time. You come home from school with your friends. They'll say, all right, against the fence. What's that thing poking out your pocket? And they'll start patting you. That was always common.
Say, you wonder why people are traumatized for it.
Yeah.
Like back in my school.
Wonder why people don't like the cops.
Back in my school, for what? Any bum ass fucking New York schools, since middle school and even high school, and it was so bad. I had sent to another state, man, from freshman year at high school. I didn't even stay in New York for the whole high school.
What state you went to?
North Carolina. But they had, and you will notice the difference, yo. And the school in North Carolina wasn't like that. But in New York schools, they had what? The metal detectors.
Yep.
Every Wednesday and Friday. They
started my generation.
Wednesday and Fridays. Shit, that was every day of the week. Then you got packed down going to lunch.
Yeah.
It was like you was in a prison. You went going to lunch, they packed you down like
they take your cell phone.
Yeah, we went to the metal detectors in the morning, and then going to lunch, they had like a table, so you can't walk, you can't pass through, you had to pass the security guard, they'll pat you down at lunch. It was like a prison. It was getting you ready, conditioned for prison and shit.
Because that's what it is. Because you're not gonna learn in school. Like you said, it's a hangout. So everybody's loosely cutting class, cutting school, and because in the earlier days, I believe if a kid cut school, the cops would caught you. They'll take your ass back to school. But that kind of died out like in the 90s. So it shows you everything was set up. What we were saying basically, all this conditioning was creating a condition of niggas to what it is right now. Matter of fact, we got one action.
This is Isaiah 3:1. For behold, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water.
Keep going.
It reads, the mighty men and the man of war, the judge.
It says to stay in the staff and whole stay of water, bread and water. Now, it became a common thing. At one point, everybody was in a hurry with food stamps. You know, you remember they had a color food stamps? You know, you got to go to the store. You got to look over your. You know what I'm saying? You got to look over your shoulder because you you gotta see with them food stands, yo, they were joking you, make you feel like shit. But we wasn't self-sufficient. You know, we had to be relying on Esau for bread and water, for food. You know?
That's the Lord taking away that from us. We don't have that ability to get it for ourselves. Independence. Put this more.
Con. This is Isaiah 3 and 2. It reads, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the...
If you look at our history, one man was, if he was right in spirit, one man could take down 100 men.
Yep.
So the mighty men amongst us, they're not mighty no more. Now a lot of mighty men went to the Vietnam War, there was in the World Wars and all that, and they see the difference when Jake is in the military. But what happens when they come back? They get treated like shit.
Yep.
You know? But the Lord took that away from us. So we don't have a standing army.
That's right.
Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans don't have a standing army. They don't even have a seat in the UN. So that's the Lord taking away that from us. Because a nation that doesn't have its own sufficiency, its own land, its own military, is not a nation. Exactly. That's what it's saying. But
and then the judges, the leaders,
yep,
the so-called leaders, and they're all under the payroll of the so-called white man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it again. This is Isaiah 3 and 2. It reads, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, the captain
now,
of...
the prudent is the wise man. Now, in the hood, they call it OGs. You like, we ain't got, she was missing, you know, the old niggas be like, so you know what's missing from the today? The OGs. The OGs ain't around to check these young little niggas. Yeah. Cause you always have somebody older than you, like, now read the rights, like, nah, man, don't die, shorty, don't do that, man. Ain't worth it.
I don't know when you got killed.
You know, he always had older people, you know, and back, I remember coming up, you know, a person with 3-year gap, 4-year gap, you look at them as somebody older than you.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and now this generation, they don't got respect for nothing, you know. They talk to their mother and talk like they ain't shit. So it says in the ancient. Now the ancient is the elderly. Yeah. At one time we had elders, you know. We had elders, and you had to be their kid. They'll talk to you like you were their kid, and you know they'll talk to you like a son, get you in the right path.
Hey, amongst Benjamin, man.
Yeah.
Back in, they could whoop your ass, man.
Yeah.
Going back to like the 90s, not nowadays, but like back then, like the 90s, 80s, they would whoop your ass, man. If you pass them, if you pass an older person and they say good morning, good afternoon. Whoop your, when I was in elementary school, the teachers, the principals, they were still whooping students, man. You understand? Punish you, whoop you, put you the whole books in the corner, man.
Yeah.
Whoop the whole class.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
hey,
That's why, like, yeah, that's true. Like, it was a big thing. Like, respect was a big thing. You know, you couldn't just talk to, like, a person elderly, like, they was, like, it was a big thing. You talk to adults, like, you know, casual, being too casual, you know. That was like disrespect.
It reads, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator.
What, you have people that can speak good, top speaker. Look at who the people have picked as their leader. It was first Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and all that. And then it became Ice Cubes and this, that, to the third. All these people that became all of a sudden the leaders. All right? But they're not meant to be the
see what that means.
because the Lord took that away from them.
I got it.
All right? You know?
It reads, and I will give children to be their princes.
And give who?
And I will give children to be their princes.
You know what that is? That's talking about Esau.
Yep.
Esau, now you got to go to Esau for everything. You want your army, your protection, your police force, your scientists, everything that you can think of, you got to go to him. All right? Why? Because we disobeyed the Lord, right?
Yep.
And this is what the Lord took away. He took away all the good stuff from us. The things that make us a nation. Now, you don't even have you actually, back in the days, you ask a nigga where he's from, he can't even tell you. He would just tell you somewhere, whatever area he's at, that's it. That's how far he goes. You don't have no resting place. Jake is just gone, man. Yep. Because the Lord took that from us, man. He took that class, he took all that from us. That's why, what do you think, Black Wall Street, why you think it happened the way it happened? We had no army. If we had an army, we could have fought that. We could have fought off. Rosewood, the same thing.
That was post-slavery too.
That was post-slavery.
You know, that proved that it wasn't slavery that put Jake in this situation. He saw hatred and racism. You know, because Jake, even at post-slavery, they became millionaires. But then Esau figured out a strategic way to break them down and dismantle them.
And now the best way was by force. Because you didn't have that. Because the Lord took that away from us. All right? See how everything works out? You need certain things to make it to be a nation. Without those things, you cannot be a nation. It's just open season for you. All right? But what did the Lord do? I gotta go fast forward. The Lord gave what? He sent his prophets. Hey, that's why. That's why it's so important that Elijah did come to bring the children, because all the stuff we talk, this is all trauma from our personal experience that we bringing it up. But the Lord had to show us like the reason why you did it, the reason why it's like this, and this is the right way. What we doing right now is the right way of doing things. We coming back to the Lord. All those other people you're talking about is nothing but lost souls, man. Still lost. They still can't see it. But we can see the future's bright. Because what? It's the end of America. Alright? The same thing that Jake was going through when Yahushua was born, the same things happen now. People are possessed by demons. Your enemy, you are oppressed by your enemies. You have no way. You had all different type of groups trying to combat the enemy, you know, and the enemy saying you're up for the kill. The same thing. But the outcome is going to be different. This time we're going to rise to the top because we have Yahushua. You know? So they can do whatever they think they want to do. They could be over us, but eventually going to be under us. There's a little bit more.
I'll tell you one thing. I looked up that word kind of artificial. That's a blacksmith. So the Most High took away the blacksmith out of Israel. You know, you go to prison. Jake, there's a lot of blacksmiths. You know, prison.
They make the license plates. They make the modern day license plates that you see on the everyday cars. Those are actually made from prisoners.
Like you be seeing those weapons they be making. You know, they got a lot of blacksmiths in prison.
Take a toothbrush and making it into they take a plastic object and make it into a sharp
melting it, and making it stronger.
You know, you got them out. They know how to create fire out of wires.
They too creative.
You know, they take headphones, trim the headphones.
You know, take
you know, I know what you're talking about.
That's niggas in jail coming up with stupid shit like that. You know.
Did you?
Hey, but if I can add, that's why the scripture say that Jacob is the form of all things. That's why it's in our spirit.
Because you have people that's artists and they don't know how to express themselves. You got musicians that's out there, they don't know how to express themselves. Everybody's all trapped up.
Going back to that.
That's why we have to get the fuck out of here.
That's right, brother.
Because this place is, matter of fact, get Micah 2 and 10. Because this place is designed, its design was to destroy the wicked amongst us.
See, Jacob,
we all have the same common background, but guess what? We got out of that bullshit because the Spirit of the Lord was dealing with us, guiding us to the right way. Right? And we know this is not our rest. You know?
I got it. Like we go to that movie Prison Song, it'll show you like the character that you took played. Like this dude was so talented. Like it was a scene, he was taking like he had like a magazine. He was taking like the color out the magazine and turning it to paint, so he could paint and draw. And he was doing that all in prison. And then he was displaying his artwork and stuff. But a lot of Jake got like potential, like unfulfilled potential.
That's right, brother. That's right.
I know what movie you're talking about too. This is Micah 2 and 10. It reads, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest."
This is not our rest. Period.
Like,
This is the thing about it was created to destroy us. So if this thing was created to destroy us, we shouldn't be in the mindset of this world. You know, you should be transformed. And that's the whole point. You need to be transformed in the spirit. But if you don't understand this, if you don't have teachers to teach you the right way, then you're lost. You know, we're not lost. We have the truth. We have something to guide us from that madness that we came from. You know? We all under Deuteronomy 28 chapter 13 on now, all of us. But the difference is between us and them, we have the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of what's going on. Alright?
It reads, because it is polluted.
America is polluted.
Yep.
Everything we talked about, that was created to destroy you. Right? Read on.
It reads, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction.
Even with a sword destruction. What is that sword destruction? Those ceremonials of the destruction. Ultimately, if you're not mindset of America, you're gonna be destroyed by the Christians.
That's right.
All right. That's why you gotta be. If you hear this truth, you have to be transformed, conformed to this world.
Quick precept. This is 1 John 2:15. It reads, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Because why? The things of this world, that's like any style. It goes away.
Yep.
It dies off.
Yep.
One minute everybody's rocking a fro, next minute George girls, next minute dreads. It dies off.
Yep.
This world, everything is temporal. All right. So things that's temporal is not something that's to be beheld.
Yep.
But what do people do? They do the easy way out. They are the things that doesn't matter. In the 2000s, everybody has spinners in their cars. Right? Look how fast that shit came and gone. It's like everything in this world. So you should not be thinking about the things of this world. Our minds are supposed to be thinking about the kingdom of heaven. That's what we should be thinking about all the time, man. Because this world is about to be destroyed. This whole world is completely transforming inside of everybody. It's never gonna go back to normal. Everything is moving forward to what? To this world's destruction.
Right.
You know, and I kind of add on a quick point too. You know, everything in this world is contrary to the Lord. You know, everything in this world. You know, you have the right to be a homo. You have a right to eat pork. You have the right to, line your hair up. You have the right to commit adultery. You know, everything that's in this world is contrary, the opposite of what the Lord, told us to do. You know, and that's why you can't love this world. Because if you love this world, I'm gonna read on.
That's why the brother said, read Micah 2:10. They said if it is surely polluted is going to being defiled, to being unclean.
And read 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Because everything that you just said is absolutely right. Because the world is not in the vibration of the Lord. The world is in the vibration of Satan. That's why you have homosexuals. That's why you have transvestites, lesbians. You have all these other shit that the Lord did not say to do. And that's why the people is caught up in such a horrible condition that they are in, but they can't see it. They think that, matter of fact, 2 Corinthians 4:3. Because they can't see because they're blind. The Lord blinded them. No, you hold what you got. Hold that.
2 Corinthians.
Go ahead, you got it. 4 and 3.
2 Corinthians 4, verse 3, and it reads, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are...
Hold on, slow down. What's gospel? Gospel means good news. Good news, right? If this good news hidden to them, meaning 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you know?
But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them.
It's hid to them because they can't see it. Why? Because the Lord blinded them. Isaiah 6:9. It tells you. He said, let this people's eyes... I don't want to butcher the scripture, but there's a contrast. Because you have the people that love this world, that love the fashion of this world, but they can't receive the truth. They can't say that this world is Babylon the Great, that's going to be destroyed. America is going to be destroyed. It's destined to be destroyed. They can't see it. You got it? No. Isaiah 6:9.
Let me get it.
No, you good where you at, man. You good where you at.
Isaiah 6 verse 9. He said, go tell these people, hear ye indeed, but understand not.
Hear ye indeed is clear out here. You know what I mean? From our apostles from before our apostles did this, you had men out there in the highways and byways telling the people what was going on, leading them to the right direction. But they hear it, it's like, oh, those Israelites, oh, they just mad. They can get a job, this, that, to the third. They hear it, words are coming out of people's mouth, but never consider like, yo, why are these guys out here for? They don't consider like, yo, something bad is about to happen. You know? Because why? The Lord said, let them speak, let them hear, but they're not going to hear. You know?
Yeah, hear ye indeed, but understand not.
You know?
You see ye indeed, but perceive not.
See ye indeed, but perceive not. So they can't see it. They can't see that. They can't see World War III. They can't see that we're in a state of a new world order. They can't see that. They just thinking, oh, this is going to go away. This is going to be like a common cold.
They already got it mapped up. They talking about everything's going back to normal by 2024. maybe later than that. Biden's talking about full employment is going to happen for like 10 years from now. So what's going to happen in between? They're telling you where you got to wear not one, not two. They're talking about 4 masks.
Teach, I'm a student, I'm listening.
What's going to happen to the people? And they're going to be put to death.
Yep.
Since when this society cared about you niggas so much that the sick, the vain, the poor, the people that's addicted to anything gets shots first?
Right.
How you all of a sudden you was the worst thing that they hated they hated your guts, and then all of a sudden since this quote unquote virus comes out, you be the first ones to get it for free. Oh, now you get some gift certificates. Now they're offering people weed. But you gotta ask yourself, like, why are they doing this for? Because why? These people are blinded, man.
Teach.
Go back to first Corinthians.
I'm a student.
2 Corinthians 4th chapter, starting at verse 3. It reads, "But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
That are lost,
To whom the Most High of this to whom the power of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not."
Because what? They did not believe. They're blinded to the facts of the world. That this world is nothing but death and destruction, man. Everything that you could think of in this society leads to death. And they can't see it because why? But Satan owns them, man. Alright? They're not trying to please the Lord, man. They're trying to please the flesh, which is what? A form of Satan. Go back to first. Alright. So go back to the scripture.
This is 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh.
Because what? Murder is nothing but sexual exploitation to the greatest degree.
Yep.
There's a new video out there with Michael B. Jordan.
Hey, can I say something? Thank you.
Alright? Hey, because facts is facts, truth is truth. One way or another, you can't hide from it.
Yep.
You can't deny, people could scoff all day. There's not even that much scoffers anymore because it's right in your face.
Yep.
So there's a commercial with Michael B. Jordan, what's her name? Alexa. So the black woman said, oh, this Alexa looks perfect. So she looks at it in the, outside, she see a bus with Michael B. Jordan's face in it. And she's imagining lusting after this man, and she has a husband. And the husband, so he's Alexa, right? So it's Alexa, what's the ingredients for this, that, to the third? And he's telling her, how is this? And he's like, and she's looking, she's lusting after him. He's like, and he's saying like, I told you what it is. What's he doing here? And you know, you're thinking about it. I'm looking at it like, yo, this is wicked as hell. This is adultery.
Yep.
So they telling the woman she could lust after another man with her husband. America's nothing but fucking filth, man.
Yep.
Nothing but filth. Yep. It promotes the most odious, wickedest things that you could think of, man.
Yep.
That's what it exactly, brother. Go ahead.
God. It reads, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes.
That's why that's why you have the busted challenge. You have the silhouette challenge. You got all these other dumbass sexual exploitation shit that has nothing to do with nothing. You got fat bitches that could get played these days, man.
Yeah, kind of.
You got fat women that's out of shape that's thinking that they're the greatest thing. Because what? Because of the flesh. That's all it is, man.
Yeah.
You know?
It reads, and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life.
And the pride of life.
Yep.
Because that's what everybody, matter of fact, it's locked up. Give me 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. Because everybody in this, they proud as hell for nothing.
Yep.
Everything we was talking about was all that led to pride. Because when you strip a man of everything, what is left? It's supposed to be his pride, right? Yep. When you pride for the wrong things, what do you have? Nothing. You shouldn't be proud, period. Right? Yep. And the scriptures clearly tell you pride should not even go. It should be for no man. Yep. Right? It's not made for men. It's not.
2nd Ezra 8 verse 50, and it reads, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world.
Isn't that great miseries right now? Are we not living in some miserable times? People can't even afford nothing. People are broke. People are starving. They don't know how to go to bread lines. People are being threatened great pride. Oh, I shit don't stink. Oh, I'm better than you because of this, because I have this, because I have that. Yeah, that shit don't mean shit. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have your how about you now shot, you're dead.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Then right now in Yankee Stadium, there's a long ass line for dumbass people that's ready to die.
Yep.
Just give me that shot till I got die. Let you die, man. If you turn out to be a fucking zombie, go ahead. I don't give two shits about you. You deserve what's coming to you, man.
Okay.
The Lord's about to wipe you people out. 2/3 of the nation of Israel is about to be wiped out. And you deserve every single thing about it. Because why? You proud as all hell for nothing.
Right.
You don't got shit. Not a pot to piss in. You don't even got a proper home, but you think you the shit. Because you got a couple name brand clothes. Nigga, you ain't shit.
Right.
Alright? The Lord took away everything from you. You ain't shit.
This shit about to be flushed.
That shit's about to be flushed.
Yeah.
The Lord's about to wipe you out, man. Because you trust this man. Old women, old men about to die anyway, going to take the shot from this man. And you don't even know that so many people that took shots already are dropping dead. Alright? Because you people deserve what's coming to you, man. And this is everything that we've been praying for years, man. Now is the time. This is the time for us. This is our time, man. Because everything that came out of our mouth when the people were scoffing, get a job, nigga, da-da-da, this, that, to the third. Now look at you. Nobody got a goddamn job, man. Alright? Nobody got a job. And what? What's he gonna say next? Huh? You can't get a girl, you can't even be around your girl. It's gonna get to the point where you can't even have a woman in your house. So what? All that for what? Because the fashion of this world is bullshit, man. And then when it comes, it all boils down to the very last end. And what's shown in the end is your destruction.
Verse 51, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee.
And that's why you have all these camps, because you have brothers like Brendan that woke up from the madness of this world. So we seek, this is what we've been looking for. What was being the odd man, the oddball, the weird one of the group? Because we didn't fit that narrative of this world. That was our spirit. So we find other men who were spiritually held by Shah who have the same accord that was signed and crying, man, for all the abominations that be done thereof. So the Lord put the mark of what? An exempt. So no wonder we part of that, we be exempt when that when massive death is coming, man. The angels be like, nope, not him. He's the Lord. They start killing people left and right, you know?
Verse 52, for unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded and rest is allowed.
And that's when you get rest. So what we do, we're preparing for the rest. This is not our rest. The kingdom of heaven is our rest. That's why we put our all in our treasures for the kingdom of heaven. We don't give a damn what you think of us or what they do to us. It don't mean nothing. Because what we're working for that rest. We're working to be in that city. We're working to prove to the Lord that we sacrifice every all for him, man. Fuck this world. This world ain't shit.
Right.
Never been and never will be. Alright? Everything of this world led us astray. So we try to get back to the Lord. This is the way. This is the way you get back to the Lord, man.
The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded and rest is allowed.
And rest is allowed. So, give me Romans 12:1. Because the things that what we doing right now, this is for what we do it for. We ain't doing this just for fun, just to hang out. All right? We're doing this for a purpose. We're doing this for a service. And somebody hold Matthew 19:27.
I got Romans.
Go ahead.
This is Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of thy power, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
So this is the ultimate. This is putting our bodies in living sacrifice. Cool. We put a season in, season out. We out here. It doesn't matter. When we could come out, we come out. So we put our life as a living sacrifice, man.
It's gonna come to a point where we actually is gonna be sacrificed, you know. Certain men gonna be martyrs for the name of Yahweh Shah. You know, and that's what it's coming to. Where our faith's gonna be really tested onto death.
Huh? And you know what? It's worth it.
That's
It's
right.
to get that eternal rest that we've been suffering for so long. It's worth it. Cause what? We gonna live here the next 10 years? Shit, you can't even be around nobody. You gonna have to take a chick. You have to be like a camp android. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be. What kind of world are we living in, man? Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. Man. So this damn right. Every time I get up in the morning, I'm on the news. I send brothers things. I'm just trying to boost myself. Like I know this place is going down. It has to, man. We gotta get the fuck out of here, man. We are men of renown. We are men that want to get the hell out of here. Because we cannot express our spirit properly here, man. So we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's be real. All this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is great. But we can't exercise the things that need to be done. Because if we had power, you think there'd be faggots walking around? You think it'd be lesbians? You think a child could tell you, I think I'm a girl. Get the fuck out of here.
All this wickedness will be addressed.
Exactly.
If he was in power.
White man would be in power.
Exactly.
That's right.
He'd be in shack with the chicks.
Exactly. That's what we're looking forward to, man. This is what we do, And this what we're doing is minute compared to what the Lord did for us. And the Lord was that ultimate sacrifice. That's why we can receive the kingdom that we need to back Alright?
It says that, I'm going to read it again. This is Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of thy power, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto thy power, which is your reasonable service.
Which is your reasonable service. That's the least we do. Come on, the Lord, Paul said it the best. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the things that the Lord has prepared for us. You know, even our small, minute minds can't imagine what the kingdom of heaven is going to be. Rest? What is rest? Peace? What is peace? We have the name Jerusalem, which means the city of peace. We never seen peace, man.
Yep.
We don't even know what the hell that means. We don't even know what the hell it is. But we have an opportunity to see it. Achieving this goal. You just gotta stick with it. Because at the end of the day, this society is finished. It's through. You know? That was it?
Oh, that was another one.
Matthew 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?
So Peter asked a great question. We forsaken all. What are we going to get out of this? You know? Did the Lord curse him out? What did the Lord say?
Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit upon the throne, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one, right, verse 30, verse 29, and every one that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sister, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting.
So whatever you lost, you're going to receive it 100-fold. Whatever you had, you're going to receive 100-fold. So is it worth the reward? Damn right. This is the greatest stock that you could ever put your investment in. This is the best put. What did I put in? I just put where? All I gotta do is go out there and teach that you're coming, and this is what I'm gonna get. Oh hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. You know? Because at the end of the day, guess what? We are going to achieve a greater goal that the world wanted, man. We're gonna receive immortality. We will never die. Compared to a world where you have to take vaccines and shots in order to function. Now you gotta wear 4 masks. What the hell? What? Babies. Last time we was out here, I'm in the car with brothers me. I'm gonna go in Arizona. A woman walking her dog. The dog got a fucking mask on. The dog had a mask on, bro. Not a muzzle, a mask. I'm like, what the fuck? You see fucking babies and wards with masks on, with face masks. This is the world that I want to be a part of? Hell no. Fuck this shit. Take me, hey, if I gotta die tomorrow to go to kingdom, I'll do that. Fuck this world, man. I don't want to be a part of this shit. This shit has nothing to do with it, man. And that's all of us. We all feel the same thing. Right? That's how you know the Lord has to come. Because it's for the elect's sake, man. Who's crying inside? Is General Yohana crying? Is Nate's crying? Is Abaka crying? No. They make it a means. They make it livable for themselves. But we gotta get the hell out of here, man.
I got Matthew 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. God. Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth nor rust doth corrupt, where thieves do not break through nor steal.
So you're gonna we banking on something that no man can break into. Can't touch it, man. You know, some people that's rich, they have the Swiss banks, and then you gotta go through a whole bunch of shit, but yet America can go to your Swiss bank. You don't have to worry about that. Our bank is in the heavens, man. It's with the Lord. So we're banking right now. We're rich. We're rich, brothers. Don't take this for granted, man. The little knowledge that you know, hold on, Sirach 19 and 24. The little knowledge that you know is gonna take you so far, man. It's gonna get you to a whole other place that you've never been before. Because this is it. This is the greatest knowledge in the world. We have the greatest job of existence, man. All right?
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is Sirach 19 and 24. It reads, he that hath small understanding and feareth thy power is...
The key word is fearing the Lord.
Yep.
You have a small understanding, you fear the Lord.
Yep.
That's the formula, we don't.
Is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High.
So basically, if you break the laws of the Lord, that's suicide.
Yeah.
So those that have a small understanding, a little, and they have the fear of the Lord, you better off than anybody, man.
Yep.
So we way better than the rest of them. That's why a lot of these guys are supposed to be elders to us. Talking about hate and all of them, they've been so wrong in it. They're not no elders to us. We have the highest level of knowledge, man.
Teaching you to sin. Teaching you to go out and sin. Go take a vaccine. But that's constantly continuously going against the scriptures. The Lord said, according to the Levitical law, is that you're not supposed to receive any piercings in our flesh. So he's just going against the scriptures, trying to teach you to sin. And with his sin, that's what's going to cause death to fall upon you. You know,
Wages of sin is death.
the wages is sin. That's right.
So is he wise?
No.
No. You gotta know all the precepts. You guys are black. I know all the precepts in the word. You can't break down Revelation 13 and 16. Oh, it's sin. It's sleeping white women. It's this, that. I'm like, what? It's clearly talking about the RFID microchip, because you can't buy or sell, but they can't receive it. Because why? They're part of this world. The Lord blinded them, man. All right? We have the eyesight. We can see through the darkness, man. And this place is dark.
That's right.
All right? Just a little bit more than that.
It reads, there is an exquisite subtlety, and the same is unjust. And there is one that turneth aside to make judgment appear. And there is a wise man that justifieth in judgment.
And that's by what? By we?
Yep.
Right? We're justifying judgment.
There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit.
Inwardly. One more time, read that.
There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit.
Yeah, with that, you're going to give all praises and honor and glory to
Yahweh,
double honor to the elders of Gms Nyc Camp. Salutations to the Sensei Nyc Camp. Shalom.
Bible.